All right, welcome to Aberrant, Project Utopia. We are going to be running this in the interim while some of our members are out, either moving houses or getting surgery done. And I am not going to be editing much of this. It's just going to be sent out raw, so there is going to be probably no opening music or anything. And it's still rated MA for adults. It's going to be adult themes. So if you're under 17, please turn this off now. Aberrant is set in 2008. It is a superhero setting with a twist. 1998 had a satellite explode in the atmosphere, and aberrants, or people, started manifesting superpowers. And most of the people are called novas. And 10 years later, there are about 40,000 novas across the world doing all sorts of things. There's all sorts of corporations running around, along with government institutions buying novas, using them as mercenaries in wars and things like that. So if you want more of an in-depth look, there's aberrant books out there. Feel free to read that. We'll explain what we can as it's unfolding. And we have Mary and we have Andrew for these sessions, and we will let them do a little bit of a quick explanation of their character before we get going, and then we'll roll right into it. So, Mary, if you want to give us a tiny bit of rundown about your character and her backstory, and we'll get going from there.
All right. I'm going to be playing Bethany King. She goes by Beth. And before her eruption or becoming a superhero, she was an overweight, very shy teenager, because she lived in a house with her parents, who are extreme hoarders, like piles of trash, just an awful living situation. And she basically had to take care of them. There was a fire one night in the house. She managed to get everybody out safely. But after that, she basically encouraged the fire to burn, because she was very much trying to get rid of this disgusting side of her home life, and has went to a facility to try to get her powers under control, because she's just full of fire. And it's very dangerous for others to be around her when she is there. Okay. She's very excited about now being a superhero and being able to eat all the time and still be skinny.
Okay. What was her name?
Bethany. Beth.
Any Nova name yet?
Not yet, no.
All right. So, and you went to
She went to
Project
a
Utopia
facility, yes. Yes.
United States resident?
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking somewhere Midwestern.
Okay. There's facilities all over the place, so
right.
There could be one in St. Louis. If she's from St. Louis, Kansas City probably has one. All the major cities have a Rashaud facility for that, for training, for helping people cope, because sometimes their eruptions, or when they manifest their powers, can be devastating mentally to them too. So, All right, Andrew.
I am playing Connor Blood, a.k.a. Zeus. He more or less he was in his mid-teens when the satellite exploded, and shortly after that he started having all these headaches and everything, and he came from a kind of an affluent background, so his parents took him to get screening, and that's when they noticed a little lump. They thought, like, oh, you got cancer. Turned out that lump was a node, and he actually was a nova. At which point in time, because he started to, like, rapidly develop within him, it kind of went from affluent, white suburbia to borderline child actor. They were taking him all over the place and just, like, getting him out there in the spotlight, working on his brand, so that he could be, this, a professional hero. And currently he is part of Utopia, but he's got a little bit of a not remorse. I can't think of the
A
exact
little
word.
bit of burnout, maybe.
Not even as much as a burnout. He doesn't like the way a lot of Novas are being treated and because he's been basically, he spent his whole life, growing up as a little product of his parents, and then who literally in his adult life turned him into more of a product and show pony. So he's really bristling underneath the surface about that. And as a result, he's actually joined the organization, the Aberrants, in the background, but is still very much actively, doing what he can to be a utopian poster child.
Okay.
And that is how he makes his money, like off of like guest show appearances and little, Zeus toys that he sends out there.
Okay.
And at this point in time, when he is in the Zeus persona, he does not, he will not respond to any name other than Zeus.
Okay.
Just to really sell that.
What's his backgrounds?
Obviously, he's got the node. He can power down because it kind of came later. Okay. So it's not like it didn't really absorb too much of it. So he's got the dormant. And then he's got resources. Okay. Mostly it's kind of what he inherits through his mother, and then or through his mother and father, and then what he gets in just through his branding and stuff.
Okay. And Mary, what are your backgrounds?
She's got attunement because she catches on fire and wants to not burn off her clothes. I gave her node 1. Oh, which I forgot to calculate it. Resources 1 because she's just got a job in a record store.
Okay.
I did give her mentor 2, thinking somebody from the facility, trying to help her control her powers. Haven't really fleshed that part out, but and then dormancy 1 so that she can make sure she doesn't light herself on fire when she wants to be normal.
Okay. Sounds good. What are your mega attributes for Bethany?
She's got mega dex at 2, mega stamina at 2, and mega appearance at 1.
What are the extras with that?
Cat-footed for dex, which I don't recall what it does offhand. Resiliency for stamina, and first impressions for appearance.
Okay. What are your mega attributes?
Zeus's mega attributes are resiliency, which just skyrockets his soak for stamina. So yeah, he's got mega stamina and mega strength. And below mega stamina, he has resiliency and regeneration. Okay. So he's high soak, heals fast.
Nice.
And then for mega strength, which he only has a 1 in, he has thunderclap.
Okay. And what are his quantum powers?
His quantum powers are elemental mastery, in that which is of 4.
Okay.
So he really sunk, so it's
okay.
He really is one with lightning and Zeus and all that. With there, he's got and so with elemental mastery, you get access to all the powers and everything just from a game mechanic. But he's mastered the lethal blast, which is just throwing of a lightning bolt. Crush, which is just this really big repulsion wave that he can do. He can create a shield of elemental energies around him, and he can also cause an elemental storm. That's what he's mastered, but he still has access to everything else. It just, from game mechanic perspective, it costs more.
Right.
And then on top of that, he has flight. Just he's not nothing super. Just he can.
Yeah, the flight under the masteries and stuff like that are slower than if you took flight outside of it, right?
Yeah, I took flight outside of it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, no, he Supermans this.
Okay. Okay.
But then I also took invulnerability physical.
Okay.
And absorption energy.
Okay.
So he's a hardy boy.
Okay. But since you're immune to lightning, you can absorb only other people's lightning and stuff.
He's not immune to it.
You're immune to your own powers. So
but your own powers, but not necessarily them
if I get
from
struck by a lightning bolt.
Right. But if you call down lightning on yourself, you can't power yourself.
Yeah. No. That I understand.
Make sure that's
okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Woo! I'm doing this.
No.
But any other forms of energy, if you have that absorption, it totally works.
Yeah.
So.
It's if I get it's like if I get like struck by lightning from a lightning storm,
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
But no, I can't, Shazam myself.
Right. Right. And you might want to think about your shield instead of doing it. Everything should sort of be glued together. So if lightning is your thing, it could be a lightning storm shield that just strikes around you and protects you from everything.
Yeah,
That sort of stuff. So,
everything is going to be everything is a lightning based.
perfect. And you can still call storms just because it's all
so
part
like
of it.
like for example, like if I was going to like block something physical with the lightning, essentially what happens is it either if it's metallic,
Right.
it gets repulsed because lightning causes like that, or if it's flammable, it just catches and just burns up. And
Right.
So
Okay. Just make sure it can cover different, some of that can cover certain forms of energy, and others just read up and make sure it's all, if it's for energy or if it's for physical attacks. Sometimes they're weird about stuff like that. So
right,
read up on 'em.
shield.
We'll look under errata too to make sure there's
Yeah,
nothing.
shield can cover both physical and
Energy.
energy, but it can't block any mental.
Okay.
That's a completely different thing.
Okay.
So,
Okay. And Mary, what are your quantum powers?
She only has 2. Gave her immolate, which means she can light herself on fire and do damage to anything that she comes in contact with,
Right.
including people. And it is fire; it burns. It's lethal damage. And then her quantum bolt, which is basically she can shoot fire as well.
Okay.
Although to that, I added the extra jet or spray, which means that she can be like a walking flamethrower instead of just throwing individual
Nice.
blasts.
so here's a question: if she shoots me with her fire, I can absorb that with my energy one, right?
If it absorbs that type of
Yeah.
power, because
Under energy, it's specifically
Right, it's
listed
just
fire,
energy,
electricity,
yeah.
then yeah.
and even listed quantum bolt.
Right. It distinguishes energy from kinetic.
Okay.
There.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like the 3 types of
So just,
like attacks you have are kinetic, aka physical, energy, and then psychic.
okay. I just want to make sure because a lot of them are divvied up into weird ways where you have to buy an extra to have it do several things. Or
Right.
Oh yeah, and like so for example, my invulnerability physical would not apply to any soak on any psychic or energy based damage, and my absorption energy, I cannot use that on any psychic or physical
Right.
damage.
That's what it is. Okay. And that's quantum. Yeah, where'd it go? Quantum conversion? Is that what it is?
No, the power that's just absorption, right?
Yeah, I've
Oh,
just got
okay, just
absorption. And what happens with the power of absorption is I get bonuses onto any strengths. It literally adds to my strength.
Okay.
I have to roll. It's like I got to make a stamina roll to see how much I can absorb of it. Whatever I don't absorb goes over, and then whatever I do absorb, I can then put right back out into like a big punch return.
Okay.
And even I think there's a cap on how much of the strength you can pull out of it. But you can even if you have reached that level and the strength that you can convert it into, you still soak soak the energy and don't take the damage from it.
Right.
Nice. And you're turning it into strength. Is that what you're doing?
You have to.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the power.
And you already have mega strength?
Yes.
This could be crazy.
I know.
Okay. Because it says every dot above 5, it starts turning into mega strength dots. So
Right. Oh, what's your base strength score?
My base strength is 3.
Okay, so 2 points would go into strength, and then the rest would be mega strength.
and what's your mega strength at?
1.
Oh, I thought you had more than that.
No.
Shoot, you'd be doing 10s and 10s.
Yeah, no,
10s
no,
for
no.
everything.
This character I made power heavy.
Oh, there it is. Every 2 dots, every 2 health levels of damage are converted to 1 extra dot of strength, and above 5 dots, they become Jesus. That's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those like it could have gone really nuts, but I didn't. I didn't want to go that nuts right off the bat with the character being made, and B, it's like I said, like this is like the last ditch effort. It's like, Kind of like when Iron Man goes like, battery 200%.
Right.
Really?
Right. Yep. Okay. All right. So, Mary, you're from the Midwest somewhere.
Somewhere.
Nail it down. You need to figure out where you're going to, mister.
Let's say,
Put yourself in the same
Be
hometown.
Wichita.
Okay, that's fine.
Wichita, Kansas.
That
There's
works.
a lot of
I would
shit.
say, yeah, it's like relatively, like not major city is all I'm thinking, or at least on the outskirts of. So that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'll go with Newark.
Okay.
So,
All right.
it's like I'm, larger city adjacent, but I don't know. What the fuck is Newark? What was that like in 2008 and 95?
Today's 2008 for the game start, so I am not certain.
Because Newark is definitely New Jersey, but I know a lot of people who are from they're from New York are actually from Newark.
Yeah.
Are you affluent? I don't fucking know.
And I don't know if they fixed it up a lot in the last 10 years.
Or if it's gone to shit.
Or if it's gone to shit, yeah.
Fuck it, Newark. We'll just say I'm from a
Middle class family.
who definitely says that they are from New York, even though they definitely live in Jersey. Because it's a family of
Was this
pretenders.
before Jersey Shore? Or was that all happening around?
That's actually
It's
happening
around-
right at this time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Jersey Shore season 1 is either airing or has finished airing.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's right in that time frame.
May no Snooki.
Jersey Shore. When did it start? First episode aired 2009, December 3rd. So they're probably
They're
they might be
Filming.
casting or filming it right now as
Yeah.
we speak.
Well, it's supposed to be reality TV, so
Yeah, we know how that goes.
just that disdain right there was so rich you could put it on pancakes.
Sliced thin on a Ritz. Okay, so we're going to start with a screen that's black, and it goes up to a memo that says, "Greetings. We've been made aware that you recently erupted. Congratulations. We would like to invite you to a meet and greet with your fellow Novas in Ibiza, Spain. Club Twist will be holding the event on August 8th at 7 p.m. As a reminder, Club Twist is a Nova-only club, so leave your baseline companions at home. There will also be no media coverage, so no worries about being photographed. See you there, Hector Ramirez." Fades to black slowly. As it starts to come up, we are flying over water, a dark ocean, and the camera slowly starts to pan up to a coastline that is brightly lit, pockets with a lot of dark trees and whatnot around it. The cityscape is quickly approaching. There are people partying everywhere. The beach, the streets, the clubs. The camera slows down on one club with a shining aluminum facade. There is a huge group of people gathered outside. People cheer as another Nova descends from the sky on fire. And a warp gate opens up next to the door, and several beautiful Novas appear and then go inside. You all have arrived there somehow through some means. If you needed transportation, it was suddenly a plane ticket in the mail for you. And you guys are walking up to this huge club. And the people can't get up too close. There's a huge, partition for them to all stand back kind of across the street and whatnot. So
100%, wherever the baselines are, Zeus would, without fail, have the car that whoever was driving him pull up in front, actually step out, probably wearing one of those white James Bond tux where it's got the white top and the
Okay.
black pants. Definitely a pocket square with a little Z lightning bolt monogrammed on it.
Okay.
He's got the resources that can do this.
Yeah.
And is definitely going to, it doesn't matter that it's at night. He's wearing sunglasses. They're yellow.
Okay.
He's going to
What's his appearance?
His appearance is 3, and his style is also 3.
There you go. So roll that skill total.
Okay, and it's 7s or above?
7s or above, yep.
Are you an 8 or a 3? You're a 9. Okay, so that is 5.
Stunning. You get out, the crowd goes bananas. People are cheering, screaming. It's very much like Mardi Gras here. This place is insane. And there are other novas that are coming up while you're coming up, and at least 3 of them stop and look at you and kind of like nod at you.
Yeah. So yeah, just again, just soaking in like the praise before then, like it's somewhere between a saunter and a strut over across the street.
And it's kind of a red carpet here. There's no cameras anywhere, and you see the few that are being pulled out don't seem to work for some reason. So they're trying and nothing's happening. And they're disappointed and fidgeting with their phones, which are not the great phones, but they're okay for taking a quick selfie.
Yeah, we need 3 more years before that selfie
Yeah.
technology really busts out.
No.
So you go
I say coming up, I'd probably hope if I can time it right. I'm waiting till he's got most of the crowd distracted
Right.
and not attempting to make nearly so much of an entrance, just kind of sauntering behind him while everybody's like,
stealth.
I feel no, not stealth, just not trying to draw nearly as much attention as he is, like, because she's not. She's in a weird place where she's like, I am newly pretty, but I don't know what to do with this.
Subterfuge.
The candle is not as bright next to the bonfire.
Right, and that's exactly what it is. It's like, oh, everybody's looking at him. Cool. I'm going to go this way, but I'm not going to try to hide.
Roll your dexterity.
Okay.
If you want to use stealth, you can use stealth.
Nah.
Because all eyes are on that door.
No, that's fine.
matter what.
She's not trying to, like, avoid all the eyes. It's just
Okay.
that she, like, as long as he's got some people distracted, she's like, I feel a little bit more confident if not everybody is watching me right at this moment, you know? I guess we can, okay. Okay, I did, so the megas are both 10s.
Do we want to have those explode now? Don't we?
Do
we
they
decide
just
that?
count as 3 successes?
I'm
normally-
really excited about having exploded dice.
They
so.
really say 3, but let's do exploded dice.
Okay,
So
okay, because I
roll
also
them
got
until
it.
they stop.
So is it just the mega dice? Because I
Just
also
the
got a
mega
10
dice.
on the. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So roll them until they stop rolling 10s.
Well, they stopped rolling
Okay.
10s. But that was still 4 successes.
That's still pretty good.
So.
You somehow manage as someone's opening the door and he turns around for one last quick look. You step right in front of him, and they walk him in, and the door closes behind him. There is a Nova standing in a hallway with some lights on. They're not as bright in here as they should be, but she just asks your name, and she has a checklist.
Okay.
Names, please.
Just whip the sunglasses off. It's like, Zeus.
She's floating right above the ground. Not a lot, but her toes are just barely touching. Zeus. Yep. And your name, ma'am?
I'm Bethany King.
Bethany King. Yes. Right up these stairs, please. And behind her, there's a door that looked like a wall, and it pops open. When you look in, there's stairs that are lit going up.
What's Bethany's appearance?
Her appearance is 4, and she's got mega appearance is 1.
Yeah, Zeus would 100% like just like put the arm out, open the door a little bit more, and like stroll lead you on up the stairs. Doesn't say anything, just does it.
And she's not going to fight you on. She's going to take a little bit of pleasure in that this never happens to me.
The stairs up are very nice. They're slightly carpeted, so they're easy to walk on. The walls are kind of painted black, but there's rope lighting at the bottom, so you can easily see the steps. And you get up to the top, and there's a small room that looks like it's overlooking the bar itself with windows that are slanted out. The windows are darkly tinted, so you're just seeing like pops of light here and there. Maybe a laser goes across it. And In this large VIP room is a couple tables, and there's a gentleman sitting at a bar table on a stool, and he kind of stands up as you guys walk up.
Okay.
You guys walk over to him. Hector Ramirez, I see you got my email.
Yes.
Shakes both of your hands. It's great that you came. We know you're part of Utopia, but this is going to be your sort of audition to really possibly one day be on the Utopia team tomorrow. So we have a couple things we want to go over real quick, and then I'll let you guys get to the festivities downstairs. And he pulls out some paperwork and stuff and hands it over to both of you and said, just sign these are your contracts. This is going to be your registration with the Rashad facilities. So you have access to them worldwide. You don't have to get in on a user access, which you probably did before.
Right.
We'll also help with PR nightmares. If anything happens, we will try to cover your butts or smooth things out with local authorities or countries. Any new powers that you manifest, we could help out with that. We could also record your progress if you wanted some sort of notations on how you're developing things, and probably give you some training with other Novas that have perfected those abilities and help you push yourself forward. Any legal issues, of course, we would help cover that. And so he just pulls out these nice pens and has you guys sign stuff. And it's a kind of a lengthy document. And he just goes over anything you have questions about. He says, I'll be in France tomorrow. Come see me at the Paris Rashad facility about noon, and we'll go over the details of what the mission entails. Do you guys have any questions at this point?
Is it an open bar, cash bar?
Is there a buffet?
He says we'll cover all your expenses tonight.
Okay.
Don't regret it.
We'll cover your expenses, not buying the room, anything. So anything legal, try not to get too out of hand. But the rest of the night is yours.
Signs,
Okay, then.
turns away.
Yeah.
Shakes both of your hands, says thank you very much. He says when you get to Paris, we'll have your credentials and everything that you can carry around with you. All right?
Okay.
All right. With that, he picks up a small briefcase, puts the paperwork inside, and heads back down. He says you can go down this way to get in to the main club, or you can sit up there. It's up to you.
There's a party going on down there.
There is a huge party going on down there.
Yeah.
I want to go join the party.
Okay, so he heads on down, and as you guys get to the bottom, he takes off out the front door, and he says, good seeing you again, Simone, and she nods. It's always good to see you, Hector. And he kind of blushes, and he scurries out. The doors that she says you're welcome to go on through, they're clouded, looks like plexiglass almost, but it may be some sort of crystal, maybe, if you're not sure. Go up to it, and the door lightly pushes open, and music pours out over you. Lights, smells, everything is just amped up to 10 or 11. So the first impression looking on this is some sort of Bosch painting, but of decadence instead. And we're just going to go over some words that describe what you're experiencing. So if you want to close your eyes and just imagine a huge club filled with people with all sorts of powers, in masses, in individuals. Some are floating, some are glowing. We're going to go with rubbing, glowing, smelling, dripping, petting, howling, strolling, vibrating, fucking, caressing, sucking, snorting, licking, drinking, touching, burning, crawling, phasing, spanking, dancing, imbibing, sweating, rolling, stretching, and floating. They're doing everything imaginable with no sorts of boundaries. This place is 200 people that have all come into super godlike powers. Everyone looks beautiful. Everyone looks young. And everyone's super powered. It's like walking in on
wet
a
dream.
Yeah.
godlike orgy of the senses. So there are also some people walking around or floating around that are offering trays of drugs and alcohol, and it's everything you can imagine. It's everything from amphetamines to cocaine, depressants in general, hallucinogens, might, which is a Nova steroid, androcillin, which is a pain deadener, mox, which brings your powers down, soma, which adds mega attributes. There's celebrities there, celebrity novas there. There's a gentleman by the name of Raul Ortiz, who's a Playboy athlete, open Terrigen member that is having his own court he's holding. There's a Nova singer who I guess would be the closest thing would be Lady Gaga, but super powered. Alan Jandra. She's actually singing a cappella for the people just around her, and people are just freaking out. Off in the corner, you see a gentleman named Skew, who's like this Team Tomorrow member, but he's the loose cannon. He's the one that's blowing up shit all the time and causing huge messes, that sort of thing. And there's another gentleman called the Bouncer, who is a mega syndicate's muscle. So, and these people are all just milling about, talking with each other, with other people, with other novas, because it's all novas in here. So, whatever you guys want to do, this place is open to it. Lights, strobes, music, and somehow there's music playing in different parts, even though it's all open air. So there may be other novas that are creating some sort of sound barriers that you're maybe walking through. Anything from bubbles to floating glitter to rose petals. Just it's out there. It's crazy. So people walk up to you with drinks. Some are on fire. Some are glowing from the inside. And
I pick up a glowing one.
yep.
I pick up one that is on fire.
Yep. And they move on to the other people, and people are laughing and carrying on. And this is insane. There's lots of seats still around, even though there's many people here. So and there's actually some seating that's floating up above, suspended from the ceiling so that people can fly and levitate and hang out at tables and things like that. It's insane. So
100%. It's like, how about a dance?
That was where I was looking for. Yeah.
I'm going to use flight, and we're going to go fly dance.
okay. There are lots of people doing this on all levels.
Yeah.
The floor's lit up like a disco with lights coming out of it. Parts of it have water coming from the ceiling into the floor without splashing, and it's lit up in different things. It's insane. But yeah, the music playing is just pumping loud, and people are everywhere dancing and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess you don't fly, do you?
I don't fly.
Okay, so to not drop her and realize she doesn't fly, what do I got to do?
When you grab her to lift off, she does not lift off with you. She kind of goes long-armed.
Okay, when that happens, I'll do an arm underneath the shoulder and kind of lift up that way.
Okay. And what's your flying dice pool? Is it dexterity and flight?
Yeah, it's dexterity and flight.
Plus any mega dice?
Yeah.
Just what's the total number? Because once you
5.
beat... Okay. In this setting, we're not going to worry about rolling for it.
Okay.
Just pick her up and float wherever you want to go or fly.
Yeah, just float right over what would be the middle of the actual dance floor, and then there start like... It sounds weird, but like manipulating her like it was a dance floor.
Okay.
Mostly me going like around her, but like keeping her in place or going up and down.
Which she's willing to go along with and has the charisma, which is where perform sits, to like
Right.
be naturally graceful and actually
Roll
be
with it.
dancing while you're just sort of holding me there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if he has his feet straight, you can actually use them to stand on and do things. So,
And
this is probably a dexterity athletics with you flying.
Okay.
We're not worrying about the speed or anything. So,
Right.
Just roll or
let's go ahead and roll it unless your dice pool's over 7.
It's over. It is 7.
Okay, then you're good.
Yeah.
We're not going to worry about it. So you're able to do most of this without getting super crazy, and it's pretty easy to keep up with them.
well, her Dex Athletics is also at least 7,
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
despite the fact that I can't fly, I'm able to match you in the air.
Right.
It's kind of fun.
Yep. So you guys can dance for as long as you want.
During that time, this is when, it's like, it was Raul, right? That was the guy's name?
Hector.
Hector.
Hector
So how did Hector
Ramirez.
find you?
Right? Was it Ramirez?
Ramirez.
Yeah.
That's where the art came from.
Yeah, that's probably because I registered it at a Rashad facility back home,
Oh, where's back home?
middle of the country, around Wichita.
I have no idea where that is.
You don't really need to. It's a very flyover destination.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys are able to barely
Yeah,
talk
it's-
over everything. The song eventually slows down and changes tempo, and they're merging it into another song. They're mixing it. So you guys can stay out there. More people suddenly join in, and it sounds like there's no pop culture, wits and arts maybe, or just wits if you want to just roll wits.
1.
Do 10s normally count as 2, or are they just a success if you don't have big-entries?
They're just a success unless
Just
you
a
have megas.
success, yeah.
Okay, I got 2.
You both recognize this is one of Algendra's most popular song that's out right now. And so Nova's just flock to the dance floor. And she does too. She walks up and basically sings along with her song, out singing it. And it's crazy how much more intense it is in person. That she's singing over her own voice, and it's hitting registers that didn't record. So people are getting goosebumps. People are oohing and eyeing, and people are wanting to almost touch her, but they back away at the last second. Like, it's insane. It's intense.
Look at these people thinking they could just touch a celebrity. It's so beneath us.
So is there a buffet? No, I'm looking around. Where is their food?
There is people are bringing food out to tables. Oh, so you probably have to get a table to have someone come by and serve you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the smells in the place are crazy good too. There have to be at least 2 or 3 Nova chefs in the back doing crazy stuff with food.
No, that means I have to go try to find some eventually. Like after a couple of dances, I'm like, can you take me over that way?
And when you say that, I just go sure, and I take like the Superman pose, like just eating. It's like, wow, how is that scenery taste?
He slowly floats you down to the ground. And there are several tables that are open, and as soon as some people get up, someone comes up and cleans them off, so they're ready to go.
Find a table.
Okay.
Just sit.
You guys sit down in a nice booth, round booth that has a nice table that, if you turn it, it sort of extends. It's closer to you. So, and a lady comes up. Can I get you guys something to eat from the kitchen?
Is there a menu at all, or
I order a shrimp cocktail.
says I can do that.
bring me the special?
She goes on to tell you about the specials,
Yeah.
and they sound crazy good. Seafood.
I actually
something or
pick
other.
like 3 of them.
Okay. Just says no problem. And she walks into the back. Anything to drink when I come back? You guys finished your drinks up on the.
Right.
Yeah. He goes, I don't know what this glowy thing is. I'll take 2 more of those.
Okay.
Whatever was on fire.
The fireman. Yep, I'll get 2 of those. She takes off.
Fantastic.
Comes back later with the glowy drink and the fireman drink and sets him down. She says, "My name's Jan. If you need anything, just holler." She walks on off. And you guys are there. Full view of everything going on. The people in the next booth over are doing crazy things, sweaty, naked things next to you. And no one bats an eye. It's all just par for the course. Eventually your food comes out, and the shrimp cocktail is stupid crazy out there. It looks almost like the Bloody Mary stuff they do nowadays with all the shit on top. Mm-hmm. It's the same sort of thing. So you're getting all sorts of shrimp with shrimp cocktail there, but fried shrimp and coconut shrimp are all added in or on the side, and sets it down and sets your 3 plates down. You need anything else? Just yell.
Yeah.
Everything looks delicious.
Smells amazing.
Yeah, and it's one of those like he eats it very like popcorn style. Takes like one, talks about something you couldn't give less of a fuck about.
She's also not really trying to respond because she eats like a girl who's been overweight all her life and enjoys food. Yep. Like all 3 of those plates, she is like bite off of this one and bite off of this one and dip it in that sauce and just absolutely going to town.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So what's your power? Takes a lot of input?
You could say I burn a lot of calories. Yeah.
Cool.
Now that you guys are off the dance floor, there's some sort of dampening around the dance floor, so it's not so bad. And even between the booths, you're not hearing a lot of
just getting
slurping,
sucking,
a little,
slurping, popping noises.
A little bit of slapping.
And you guys are there, and the food smell seems to be in the same place. It's like it's not dissipating, so you don't know if someone's circulating air through this place manually or what, but that's pretty amazing.
So this is pretty insane, right?
No. It's nice. It's definitely nice.
They have a couple clubs like this in New York, 4 to be exact, and that's it. Because there's still a lot of regulation in other countries about who could be doing what, and a lot of the places are not Nova only. So Ibiza gets away with a lot of leeway.
Yeah, no, this is a guy who's like, he's been to Burning Man, he's been to Coachella.
Burning Man is a different thing now. It's actually people burning it.
Yeah.
Themselves.
I feel like I should go there.
Yeah.
Fit right in.
You guys start talking, you're like, why haven't I heard about this?
Right? Because I never have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been to like the festivals and shit like that. 100% that rich white kid who had no business being in anywhere that are truly artistic. But and like he's the, I don't know. I'm just, I hate this character so much, but I also love him. This couldn't be further from me. So I'm just like, what is something I absolutely would not do? Would just make me cringe.
Yeah, all the festivals. If you what are your resources?
3.
Oh yeah, you've been to everything.
Yeah,
a couple times.
Yeah, this is not my first time in Spain.
Right.
This year.
Yeah. Is your first time in Ibiza?
I'll go yes. I will go yes with that.
Okay. Because it's probably something your mom would not have wanted you doing. It's too racy. And most of the Novas in here, I'd say a good 50%, just aren't wearing clothes. And those that are may have U-fiber on, which is the Nova mesh, and it might be like in their hair or around their back or things like that. And if it's on them, it sometimes shifts while it's on them. So crazy designs, crazy. I mean, you're in a room of gods, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And she's kind of like, she found food, and now she's like, she has a comfortable space from which to enjoy the spectacle without like having to figure out, oh God, these are real people.
Right.
So as like he starts talking about the last club that he was in that was kind of like this. Like, I don't know, what was it, like Room 72 or something like that with the giant disco ball in New York? I'd imagine
Studio 54.
Studio 54. I imagine that got converted into a Nova club.
That got reopened.
Yeah. So talking about time there, and he just like takes like lightning out from the tips of his fingers and starts doing like Cat's Cradle with it. Yeah. Just so subtly, just like putting that out there, just very aptly playing with it. It's almost like a tick.
Yeah, Studio 54 has been raided several times. It's human and Nova. Some people have been really hurt there, that sort of thing. So this is the first place you've been that is all Nova only. Even the staff is Nova. You think that maybe even some of the walls and furniture could be Nova-proof, fireproof?
I thought you were going to say could be Nova.
That's also possible.
Quite possibly, yeah.
I'm sitting in a
right,
Nova.
the bench that you're sitting on turns into be a Nova.
Yeah, it's some dude who's got a very specific fetish.
Right, very specific.
Could be. I'm not going to say no. It's all up to you.
And I'm sitting there going, I've never been outside of Kansas before.
This is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
A lot of just like, oh, look at them.
Right. It's
a lot of giggling.
Yeah.
So who does your PR?
What?
You know, like you know, who manages you, your merch, stuff like that? Because you know, I'm thinking they're going to try to do some kind of team up for us, and I got to make sure that you know that legal and everyone talks to the correct people. So what's up? Who are your people?
I don't have people.
Oh, you're an independent. You do it all yourself. That's brave.
You were an independent until just recently, so
she doesn't know that.
Oh, there you go. Manipulation, subterfuge, just so you don't blurt out that. Oh, I was just like that last year. Just to be safe, just need one success. One. It's all you need. You stopped yourself for just a second, and you keep going.
Because it was very much like in my head, I was like, I've been there. I was like, that's brave.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, okay. Yeah, no. As far as so far hasn't been an issue.
Starts bobbing his head with the music that you guys can't hear.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, we can't put it out there because we don't get taken off of YouTube for appropriation. But yeah, it's.
I was like talking about like in like the club because like there's the dampening and everything.
You can still hear it. You can still see it, but it's not as loud. It's like they've. It's not completely cut off, but the people on the dance floor,
so we've gone from
no longer deafening.
We've gone from bathing in it to
enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah. It's background music now.
Okay,
it's no longer like you can feel it in your sternum.
Right. Yeah, but once you cross the threshold, you feel it, and you can almost see like there's a wave in the air around the dance floor where the sound waves are hitting it. Yeah. All right. Waitress comes back by. Oh, you guys did good. She picks up all the plates and stacks them strangely with one hand, and like it looks like it's gonna fall, and she just like makes a little thing and it sticks back to upright. Anything else? Dessert, maybe?
I was gonna say yes, dessert.
One of each. We have 5.
Oh, yes.
I'll be right back. She spins and goes off.
That's where he's just kind of like.
And you see as she's walking, she's doing this thing where she's like turning her hand to the side almost, and everything's staying stacked as she's walking around people.
She's just gyroscopic.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
She eventually comes back with some more drinks, and she brings 2 of each this time and sets them down. The one she brings is the ones you ordered, and she sets down other ones. She goes, I think you'll like these. These are variations on that. And the one is not on fire like flame. It is blue topped, like jet fuel is on fire in your glass. She usually makes something else it's got a, she sets it down, and it's got a glow to it, and she, bing, on the side, and it slowly starts changing colors. Like it's spinning slowly and rainbowing at the same time. Enjoy. And she turns around and walks off.
Yeah, systematically making it through the alcohol is not the problem.
The alcohol is high octane because
she's getting drunk real fast because she's still like 18 and not used to this.
Most of your Nova resistance and endurance is super high anyway. Right. So you're burning it off really fast. So it may have other things in it as well. maybe fuel additives and things like that. So it's not even 100 proof. It's probably like 400 or 500 proof. It's insane, but it still tastes great for some reason.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just enjoying pretending I know what I'm doing.
Right.
It's just Everclear and cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. And some Jolly Ranchers and some Mountain Dew or something.
For color.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the night's going well, and you guys could sit here and watch this all night long. It's just something different is happening. The people that were next to you got up and left, and other people are coming over, and they're putting their hands together and glowing and changing, and it's like they're trading energy almost, and then one glows, the other one trades it back and glows, and they're giggling and laughing, and they start making out. A lot of that is devolving into making out. Like as the night,
right.
as the night's rolling on, there's more of that happening. People are pairing off or grouping together, clumping.
Probably when desserts get here, I'll probably like take a small bite of one or two that look nice, and then it's like, I'm gonna go back on the dance floor. You want to come?
In a minute.
The desserts come out. One looks like a chunk of gold. The other one is a nitrogen frozen ball on a string called Ice Planet. And the others are just these insane like truffles and super exotic stuff that you just can't get anywhere else. One of them, as you bite into it, it evaporates on your tongue and leaves flavors that are shifting and changing. It's just...
No, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this for a while. Like you can go back on the dance floor.
She squeezes every time she takes a bite. I'm like, yeah. And even you, it's like, whoa, holy shit, this is amazing. The one that looks like gold is gold leaf chocolate with something else inside, ice cream or whatever. And as you get down to the bottom, it catches fire and starts melting other pieces. Yeah, it's insane shit. Gastrometry at its Nova level. So frozen foam and shit.
Right.
And he gets up. He's like, I'll be back. You pass through that membrane, and all of a sudden it's... People are insane on the dance floor. People are also floating next to you, interlocked, doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Wherever I can cut into dance.
One group is playing Pong by slapping the naked person who's in a ball, and they're floating across, and they slap them in the ass, and they float across the other side. Yeah, it's insane shit like that's going on. And the person getting slapped is like, harder.
You know what? For Pong,
it's insane.
I'm going to use Crush to really get him going, but I'm going to pull the punch all the way.
Okay.
So like minimal to no damage.
You just want to shockwave it?
Yeah, just shockwave it.
So in my head, what you were going to say is, I'm just gonna, because I know you're gonna hit him, but also with lightning. And I'm like, my brain translated that into slap and tickle.
The shockwave goes off. It matches the music going on. The person gasps in a good way, a gleeful way, as they are projected back to the others.
Yeah.
So.
And at that point in time, it's just like, what other party trick I can do with my abilities? I just start doing that.
You start doing it, and other people on the other side start matching that. So you're getting fire explosions, and the person comes flying back, smoking and laughing. One gets sprayed down with water and flies back in the other direction. And then another person jumps up and becomes the ball, and they're all like bouncing off each other and back and forth. It escalates quickly. Everything in here is escalating quickly. So,
yeah, I think at this point in time, it's
as you're sitting, finishing up the last of the dessert and looking super happy, a well-dressed Japanese anime sort of looking gentleman comes up. His hair is all doing the spiky to the side. He looks very well dressed and I don't want to say godlike, but he is beautiful. And he bows deeply to you and then raises back up. He says, "May I join you?"
Please.
He sits down and he introduces himself. I'm Eden Kazu. I am also known as Slicer. And this is my first time to this sort of party.
Oh, mine too.
It's very interesting.
It's the food is fantastic.
I see. I've had a little bit here and there, but I'm trying to experience it in a longer stay.
I try to make it look like that's a profound thing to say and not something.
I don't want to. How does he say? I don't want to overload my senses. This is already a lot.
You're not wrong. This is. It's a different experience.
I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, but this is very crazy. He says, before I erupted, I was on the rave scene, and this is still way out there for me. Yeah. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff from a baseline perspective, and this takes all of the cakes.
I mean, I've been in some interesting thrash pits, but this is nothing like that.
No. As you guys, the images behind you as you guys are looking back is the Pong game has gone into some sort of crazy pool table experiment in 3D, but instead of pockets, people are being...
Balls are finding holes. That's all you got to know.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So, and he looks back and he kind of laughs. He says, "How long have you been a Nova?"
I don't think it's been that long. Just a couple of months.
Same here. He said, "I was at a rave when I erupted and hurt a lot of people, so I kind of hid for a while, and then now I'm more in control of what I can do."
I had to take some time to control myself as well. I get that.
Does your family support you?
They're better off now, but no. They're... I support them, but that's about all I can say.
Mine disowned me. I apparently brought great dishonor to my parents, my father. So I went from having a lot to barely being able to get here to hang out. And he says, honestly, that's why I haven't eaten a lot of or drank a lot, because I'm on a very tight budget right now.
I see. That's been my whole life up until this point. I understand.
Yeah, it's a lot different for me, so it is a learning process.
It makes this all that much more overwhelming when you've never seen it before, but yeah.
Very, very nice, very crazy. She just keeps looking at all this stuff going on still.
I order another dessert.
As long as we're still, yeah. And she sees you from across the way.
As long as we're still sitting here.
Walks eyes.
It's not just one. It's
right. Yep.
You wave the hand.
Her mega perception picks right up on it.
And by another dessert, I mean another round.
That's all you have to do is or mouth it, and she understands completely. Eventually, she comes back with drinks for everybody. Another round of desserts. It's the same thing, but somehow some of it has changed. Different foams are used, and it's...
I invite him to help himself to anything that's...
Let's see. He shyly starts off, and his eyes get huge when he starts eating some of this.
I know, right?
This is not... bubble tea. This is way better. And after that, he kind of loses control and starts taking huge bites of each.
I mean, I'm already doing that, so that's fine.
He joins right in. He's not getting any on him, but he looks...
To be fair, I'm not either, but...
He looks graceful until he goes...
I'm, however, more comfortable with him eating like a sane human being, so...
And he's not a very big guy. He's
Right.
tiny to begin with and skinny as all get out. It doesn't take him long for both of you to tear through everything. And he tries to drink and is freaked out. He's like, this is amazing.
I know.
I haven't been able to get drunk for months.
Okay, I've never really been drunk before, but this is awesome.
Wow, this is crazy. It's like, I'm not drunk, but I'm tipsy. This is great. And he starts talking more as he's drinking more. What are you doing?
I mean, it's
Pong is going, whatever it is, it's going crazy now. Everyone's sort of doing it. Literally.
Once everyone, like every flyer and elemental or whatever is doing Pong, that's when it's time to leave that party and go down onto the floor.
That's happening down there too. The ones that are getting too close to the ground are being taken care of, so to speak, as that's happening. So
Yeah. Basically, it's very much...
some people are sliding across the floor at each other. It's
and
it's out of control. They're all one-upping each other.
Yeah. So let's see. So if they're all wanting to, like, yeah, it's just kind of like that. It's like going from wherever there is a lull, which is a very...
There's one little spot.
I was going to say, like,
really,
that's a very
They're
relative statement.
they're trying to show off their dance moves and stuff.
Yeah. Going over there, taking part in that,
Okay.
using whatever I can.
Style,
to-
appearance, and style.
Appearance, the fuck yeah, I can do that.
I
I took that as a joke. That's my most used skill all night.
The DJs are matching what's going on. They are sitting up in a booth and spinning. as
Five
well.
again.
Yeah. The group of people that are sort of trying to one-up each other, it's you jump in, like slide across the floor.
Like I just put like a little bit of lightning coming out of my feet as I slide like Static Shock style in.
And they all stop. And they start, like they form a circle around you so you can dance.
Yeah, literally start doing my dance. I actually call a few lightning bolts down on me while doing this.
It doesn't
And
seem to hurt the floor.
every time, like you strike a pose right before the lightning hits.
Yeah.
Just
No, it is. You know what? Fuck it. I actually do the perfect cast from a Goofy movie.
Okay. Roll your arts and wits.
I got one.
There you go. People recognize it. Some of them start clapping. Other people are like, I'm gonna show this guy up, and then they let you back out of the circle, and they start doing their thing, and they're all using their powers as well. So crazy stuff starts happening. One person like does this dance where they're walking downstairs and they actually phase through the floor and then come back out the other side, and it's insane. It just keeps going and going and going. So it's literally people are spending willpower points at this point trying to outdo each other. A couple of people back off. Eventually, they get tired, or they're just at the point they know they've been beaten, so they just stay in the circle and clap and kind of bop back and forth. Another person that is there is strutting his stuff. He's really giving you sort of a run for your money, and it's not a lot of glitzy stuff, but it's more like his mega dexterity is really doing a lot of the heavy lifting for him. Like he is doing dance moves at 3 times the speed, so it's very quick and slick and all sorts of. What's your perception and awareness?
5.
Go ahead and roll that. Two. You think some of his dance moves may be like athletic victory, sort of football maybe related touchdown dances that he's doing. And you're like, what? why is that familiar? And he's incorporating them into his dancing while he's doing it, but he's doing it super fast. And it looks really familiar. Like that, I know that move. That move's been done before.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who's done it before. It matters who pulls it off better.
Yeah. Make a wits and biz roll.
Cool. One.
All of a sudden it dawns on you, this guy his name's Eric Isaacs, and he was a football player that was taken into the big leagues, and on the night of his celebration he erupted and they had to let him go. But he was like an honest player, and he got it was the St. Louis Rams that signed him, and then he lost it the next day. So it's a lot of he's sort of a media like, oh, story. Like, we loved him, we were rooting for him, and then he got
superpowers.
Yeah. On the night he erupted, he was drunk driving and car accident, and his fiance boyfriend at the time was killed, but he erupted and survived the thing. So everyone's like, oh, so sad, but he's a Nova, he'll be fine, that sort of thing. So yeah, and as soon as you recognize him, do you say his name or anything, or you just keep dancing?
No.
Okay. And he keeps...
I don't want people to know there are more famous people that here than me. Even though there are clearly some.
All right, and you keep dancing, and he's really really laying into it. And it's not like he's a professional dancer. He's just rolling like with his style instead.
Okay. Yeah, and like I pull off some more flashy moves. Then again, once this becomes, super hot, super heavy, I move over to the next thing.
Okay.
Very much the, I'm the reason your party started.
Okay. It gets to the point where it's just you two dancing, because everyone else is like, oh, we're not going to beat this. And they're clapping and going along with you guys.
Okay. And as I slid in, that's when I slide out.
And you do, and they all start clapping for you as you're leaving. And even he's like, he puts his hand up to high five you. He goes, thanks, man. That was awesome.
When I high five him, bolts of lightning, again, completely held punch, but just that sensory, just really flashing it out there. So it's like, you high five it, it's a big like strobe light effect almost.
He does the finger guns at you. Turns back around and grabs a couple people and starts dancing with them. Like intimate dancing. So with this, it's back to the dinner. Mm-hmm. And you guys have polished off everything. Sitting back, his stomach's like protruding over his, his buttons are stretched a little bit. Whew, he's like, I could get used to this lifestyle. This is awesome.
No kidding. I can eat like this all day and not get fat. It's amazing.
He's like, yeah, it's a good thing until you're hungry, and then it can be rough not having money.
I mean, trust me, I know that part too. But yeah, hopefully.
Where did empathy and all that go? Rapport, I guess.
Yeah, rapport.
Yeah, it's rapport now.
Roll your wits, if you don't mind.
I do not. Should I add rapport? Because I have
yes,
that.
if you do have rapport.
I just think it's so funny that you keep telling me to make all these wits rolls. I have no wit skills and just a 2 in wits, and I keep getting 7 or above on one of my 2
That's a
die.
good thing.
I got 2.
Okay, you two are kind of vibing about this now. He's very honest and open with you about his stuff, and you have no doubts that he's not lying about any of this. Eventually, night goes on a little farther, and he keeps going on about being poor, and finally he's like, we could change that. We could change all of this if you want. I have sort of a thing in a couple days if you want to take part, and we could probably use your skills.
What kind of a thing?
It is a paid gig where we're supposed to be getting $2.5 million split between us, and there are 4 of us so far. If you're interested, I'll tell you where we're meeting up and let them know what's going on. No one's supposed to get hurt. We're not killing anybody or anything. It's kind of a robbery. I'm not gonna lie.
She actually does. She laughs a little bit like that. Not like it's a joke, just like that's kind of funny. And you know what? I might be interested.
The guy's not supposed to be home, so it's a complete empty house sort of thing with some security, and that's it.
Yeah.
Should be an easy smash and grab, especially with everybody else going along. We have a cyber guy, and he's supposed to go in and sort of deactivate all this stuff. And we got Muscle, and we got some other people in case we do run into people. We have a face, basically.
So what would you need me for?
In case we do run into any problems, because it's kind of a high-profile person. Just in case. And for anything unexpected.
Give me 1 second. You know what? Yeah. Let me have the details. Of time and place, whatever. Yeah.
Would you like to meet the rest of us?
Yeah.
Okay. He stands up, wipes off his face, and he starts walking you through. He starts to offer you his hand, and then he stops, like it's inappropriate for him to touch you, that sort of thing. He's very Japanese. Like, he's drunk, but
and
he's still a gentleman.
So is she,
Right.
which is why she's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see what this happens.
And he walks you over to another booth, and there's a lady sitting there by herself, but there's 2 other spots for drinks, and one looks like it's melted down almost to nothing. And he sits down, and he says, Voss, this is Bethany. Right?
Beth. Yep.
Beth. And she's a fire. She's got some fire going on, and we could probably use her in case something goes sideways. Voss looks up at you, and she's a very elegant-looking woman. High dress, earrings and stuff look expensive. Some of the jewelry looks expensive, but it's not too much. And she looks at him like, oh, damn it. How much are you? Did she tell you we're getting paid? Did he tell you we're getting paid? Sorry.
Did you say what?
2.5 million.
He said 2.5 million? Oh, yeah. I was thinking 2,500, and that was not the right number. Yes, 2.5 million.
Okay. We could probably do that. If he agrees to have some of it taken out of his thing, and he's like, sure, take it out of my cut. Split my cut, or give some of my cut to her. And she's like, are you sure? It's like, yeah. She's like, well, how about this? We let her have part of your cut plus whatever extra we get at the site, because there's extra stuff. We're being paid by someone to do this.
And then whatever else you managed to pick up.
It depends on what's there. If it winds up being more than our share, then we'll split that extra up.
All right.
All right, we'll have a seat and we'll get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
They just start chatting about this. Eventually, this big black guy comes up and he sits down real hard next to Voss. He goes, "What up, Voss, baby?" And he kisses her on the neck and she just kind of cringes. Blitz, can you not do that? Oh, I'm sorry. He's all sloppy drunk too. He's like, "Who's this?" And he points to Bethany.
Hi, I'm Beth. Apparently I'm helping you guys out.
Huh. What can you do, Beth?
Oh, I burn things.
That sounds interesting. So she's cutting into your stuff slicer, huh? And he kind of blushes real hard. Slicers are plasma boy. Flying plasma boy. He pokes at him. He doesn't cringe, but he like retracts a little bit, just slightly.
You just see him do that,
I'm
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like,
I think she could help us out just in case something happens. Yeah. So how much are you getting out of this? And Voss goes into the whole thing. She's got a slight Russian accent.
Okay.
And she explains that over the course of the next couple of minutes that she was a wife to a mafia boss, and she was kidnapped by a rival mafia boss, and she erupted after being beaten and left for dead by that mafia boss. And her boyfriend did not want to take her back after she was tainted with powers or with some sort of sexual thing that she kind of skips across. And she misses that style of life. She misses the riches and the limos and all that good stuff. And then Eric goes over his whole thing. He was a college football player. The Rams, the night of, gets drunk and crashes his car and kills his boyfriend. And he wants some U-fiber. So that's his whole thing.
Oh man, that would be really cool.
He's like, I could do all kinds of crazy stuff with it because I grow. I get huge.
Ooh.
I can smash things. And then he gets quiet after he thinks about the
Smashing
car crash.
things.
And
Yeah.
basically, he grew while in the car and probably crushed his boyfriend and crashed the car at the same time. So, yeah. So this goes on. They're going to be doing this for hours or whatever.
fair.
So eventually, what are you doing in the meantime?
I was just because I have first impression. I'm like, at some point, I might actually activate first impression because depending on what the person she meets is seeking, she may seem to be enjoyable, a likable person, somebody who can get the job done. Whatever they're actually looking
do that
for
right
is,
now.
yeah, I think I will.
Yeah.
That is what they see in me.
Yeah.
And so I'm
You
like,
could have done it with him too.
I could. I didn't realize I had to act it, but I totally would have. I'm like,
Roll for it then.
I don't have to roll. It's just a.
Oh, it happens?
It's just it's an activation. Yeah, I spend a quantum point, and
It happens.
the other person automatically gains that good first impression.
Nice.
And that impression remains until the Nova does something to ruin it. So I'm like,
So it happens.
you want me on this crew? I'm your guy.
They all feel very confident in your abilities, even though they haven't seen you do anything.
It's the most
Yeah.
awkward, like thumbs up. It's like, I'm your guy, pal.
Well, it looks like I'm yours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. So it's happening. We gotta constantly remember that too.
Okay.
'cause
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah. No, I do.
I'd say in most mundane situations and stuff like that, you're
I can just
spinning it. All right. Dance floor still, or
yeah, no,
out and about?
Let's see. I did pool. I did dance floor. I'm not gonna try to spin the music myself. That'd be dumb.
At one point in another
There are
part,
people for that.
At one point in another part of the establishment, someone starts balling up water out of a fountain nearby, and it gets to the size of about a 20 by 20 sphere, and it gets levitated up, and people are flying into it and doing gymnastic maneuvers and then flying out the other side, and some people are getting into there and swimming around and doing all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. It's the Star Wars scene is happening.
It's very blitzball.
Yes.
Water and electricity. That's not a good idea.
No. No. And there's some very crazy looking novas that look like lizard men that are jumping up or being tossed up into the ball, and they're swimming around. And then it seems like when they're in there, there's no gravity at all, so they're able to do crazy stuff without sinking or floating to the top.
Okay. If there is anyone pretty next to me, I snag a pair of drinks, hand them one, do a toast, and then walk off like, just like, literally, it's like, do a shot with me, bam, and go.
Okay. People are cheering as you're doing this. Yeah, it's going over well. How could it not?
Right.
Everyone's super pliable, super
This
on
is what
board
they
with
came
everything.
here to do.
Yeah. It's the party boy at the party. So, and
I just read his shirt. That was.
oh my God, that's too. So, for those at home, because I know this isn't getting cut out, my shirt is the Zelda sheet music for the Song of Storms, and it says "Make It Rain," and we're at a party.
Yep.
That's
You've got about 7 people who seem to be not following you actively, but they are constantly sort of gravitating towards you wherever you stop.
As they should.
Right.
And that's just like his mentality.
And they're buying you drinks as well and offering you drugs and everything. Touching all kind. I mean,
definitely take the drinks. Do not take the drugs.
take the groping.
Groping above belt on outside of clothing, fine.
Yes.
Anything else, he's going to do like a little sidestep.
Let's roll some dexterity and athletics.
I got a 7.
Because it's happening. I mean, whenever you stop, someone is accidentally brushing up against you, and front and back, sides, everything. And you may have an ear licked at one point when you're like, oh.
Yeah, no. The ear lick is fine because that's above belt. It's the below belt, like, grundle grabbing that
everything's happening.
That he's trying to, like, sidestep around and
no one's going into your clothes, but it's all, everything else is you're there.
I got 1 in my giant Dex athletics pool. I get 1 wits and awareness where I only got 2 fucking dice.
That's where you get all the successes.
It's happening so much that it's not bothering you
You
anymore.
like sidestepped it once into another incident.
Someone started to grab your ass and you stepped into someone else who was bending down to pick up something, and you went right into their face, that sort of thing. And you're like, okay, this nuzzling is happening. I'm here. Turn around, and that person who was reaching for your ass their hands are everywhere at this point. All 7 or 8 of those people have sort of surrounded you, and they're all touching each other, and it's crazy. At one point, the embarrassment or the, hey, there's no cameras here, that realization that you're doing what everyone else is doing. So it relaxes.
I'm aware that there are no cameras here, but I'm also aware that people remember stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'm trying to do is give positive story and impression and not...
There are other ways to do that, too.
I'm aware. But I've got a brand.
Yeah.
And I'm currently in the Zeus brand.
Right. Well, yeah, you are.
So...
Do you go for it? Eventually taking shape shifts so you can turn into an eagle.
Right. No, okay.
Golden shower.
I'm aware.
Making it rain is real money coming down.
Yeah. There is mythical Zeus brand, and then there's Connor Blood Zeus brand. And his is a little more E.
I would say he's
like 26, 27.
A little less rapey.
Yeah.
In this setting, that word isn't even a half.
Oh no, I understand, but I'm just in general.
The waivers when they came in.
No. It's very much. If he powered down, he'd be all over this. But he can't do that here.
Yeah,
this is the shit that goes on with him. So
it's a losing battle, but
he's fighting it.
A lot of pivoting.
Yep. Occasionally, just like doing the Jesus rise up with some lightning coming out of my palms because it looks like, and I just like slow rotation as I go up. Just again, very much a look at me, but make some space.
Yeah. And there are other people who are floating along with you and all that. It's
Oh yeah. There's
it's
no
like
escaping.
it's like the magic sand when you take the magnet and pull it up. Like the people just sort of kind of go up with you and on the sides, and yeah, this keeps happening over and over. You see this every once in a while. He like lightning goes off and he pops up and then slowly kind of descends back into the hands and the kissing and all that stuff. So there's no lipstick on anything anywhere. Everything is pristine. That's the other thing. They can't get pregnant, I don't think. Novas can.
So far, they haven't ever found evidence of a pregnant Nova, I know.
Most diseases have been eradicated through medical stuff.
Yeah, definitely AIDS and cancers. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, this is crazy. This is like the 70s on Nova acid. So this goes on for a while. Whenever you get, I'll make a perception awareness.
I have that. I don't have a mental stat above 2. And I have one mental ability, which is awareness.
There you go.
That is. I got 2.
You, in all of this, it's not tiring, but it's repetitive. It keeps happening. You look back over to your table, and your table's been cleaned off, and there's somebody new there doing something that's not her. 2 people, 3 people. 8 people are sitting there now.
They're just on the table.
Under
There's
the
no
table.
sitting.
Yeah. And you realize she's not there. And there's a moment of like, oh, shit, where the hell did she go?
Where'd the stranger go?
Yeah, right?
We're the person who seemed really out of place that needed a chaperone and a few hours ago has not in the space where you left her. Yeah. So there's a chivalry like, oh, shit, I left her for too long.
Very pretty.
Let's just get the party back together.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go to the bar. And if I see her, I will come over with a drink because now I've got a place to sit.
Okay. Yeah, you go over to the bar, order the drink. The rest of your entourage all orders something different, and they're all laughing. And the groping has slowed down a little bit at the bar.
Well, right, because one hand has to be on the drink.
Right, exactly. So it's halved at that point.
Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
Someone somehow gets a bottle of liquor, and everyone's sort of pushing you to lay your head back on the bar, and they're wanting to do like a margarita in the mouth. Sort of
yeah, I'm all about that. The drinking is fine.
And as soon as they finish and you close and swallow, someone kisses you. You don't know who, what, but you
That's
raise
fine.
back up and you spot her. And she's like, and all these people around her are like, yeah. They're all nodding their heads and everything and having drinks and stuff. And you guys kind of lock eyes at that point.
I'm going to grab. You said there's like, the Rams guy that I had to dance off with, he's there.
He's with her too.
Okay,
yeah.
Totally grabbing 2 bottles of whatever alcohol.
Okay.
And I'm going to, the same way I slid over into the dance floor, that's how I'm going to slide over to the table.
Okay. Lightning arcs up on the table and little tiny fingers kind of dance on the rims of some of the glasses. And
I immediately just start pouring drinks
Nice.
for anyone who's got a cup.
They all kind of sit back and, ooh. And the Blitz guy goes, yeah, my man.
Lightning high five again.
High fives. And they all sort of scoot around so you can sit down. Have a seat, man. Have a seat.
Yeah, take a complete lounge spot wherever it comes in. And I go, oh, Isaac, you met my friend Bethany.
And they all go, shh.
Yeah.
And look back at you. Awesome. So they all kind of, Voss goes, what about,
I mean, yeah.
think you
I don't know.
Secrets are no fun. Come
Worth
on,
it to
come on.
ask.
So, we're planning on a job in a day or so, and we're going to get rich. Do you want to come along and get rich with us? We could use some powers. We have 2 fire people. We have a giant, indestructible giant. We have a cyber guy who's not here. He's a little shy. And he's working. He's figuring things out.
What's the job?
We'll discuss
Because
that.
I got a thing in Paris in a little bit. So
Right, it's after that.
okay.
We could meet up in Germany. It's north of Frankfurt, but we could meet up at the airport. There's a great little place called Wurzhaus Waldorf. It's just south of the airport. I might just went
Trying to
Germanish.
trying to speak German and a
German,
Russian
French,
accent
Russian
with a
accent.
French.
This is why I don't do accents.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
We'll, we can fill you in then. 10 p.m. In a day tomorrow night.
Okay,
you guys
'cause-
are supposed to be
we're
tomorrow.
supposed to be at like noon at.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
in
like-
Paris. Yeah.
So there's Bob and his head. I'm like, yeah, sure. Just send me the contract or whatever. It'd be like, good. Like, flip a business card over to him.
Says, well, this is going to be a little. We're robbing someone. You realize that we're not. This isn't going to be a showstopper.
Do I choke?
Nobody's getting hurt, but we're going to steal some shit from this guy, and we're getting paid on top of it $2.5 million to split 5 ways now. And if Bethany vouches for you,
Yeah,
You're in.
he seems a pretty useful guy to have around.
So,
Pretending I didn't just meet him 4 minutes ago.
yeah.
right?
So, I've got the professional hero brand, but so to not choke, what would that be? Like on my drink? Because I imagine it's like they said, like I imagine like I'm taking a drink of something. They say this. How do I
That would
not-
be style, appearance
style.
and style.
Awesome.
Not to spit stuff everywhere.
Oh, we're robbing someone.
Oh
Apparently,
yeah,
I'm fine with that.
you're great.
Maybe an eyebrow cocks a little bit as you're leaning back to drink that no one sees, but you're like, oh, I shouldn't have given that away.
Yeah, and it's like, well,
Thunder crackles outside somewhere.
yeah,
Just sounds like it's part of the base.
Yeah, no one else can tell but you.
yeah. It's like, I got a little bit of a brand, and that sounds a little outside of it. Hard maybe.
You might be able to, do this outside of your brand if you dress down for it. Not dorm down, but just dress down. Get some dark clothes, maybe.
I do have a really nice turtleneck.
Do you have Cypher going on? No. You're new. We're all new, so I don't think much of us is on record as how we're using our powers and things like that. So we should be good.
Yeah, no, definitely need to mull it over. Pour some more drinks, and yeah, I'll get through Bethany back to you, or my info's on that card.
Okay. What is that much money in dots?
If it's 2.5 mil divided by 5, actually it'd be about by 6 at that point if you include me.
Yes.
It's probably a little over what I currently have.
Yeah, because I think we said 3 dots was like a total liquidation of a $250,000, or was that 4 or 2?
250,000 is 3 dots
Right.
if you liquidated everything.
Right, so that's not cash on hand. That's your total value.
Yeah,
So that is more than you have if you've got 3 dots.
yeah, that is almost. If you think of this as terms like a yearly salary
Right.
being the dots, that would be 2 years of my salary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, no, that's why it's a hard maybe and not a no.
And plus, if you're taking out anything extra that's there,
Yeah, they said there's definitely potential for more than that.
could be a lot more.
Ah, it sounds like fun. As she's
Music's
like
going.
drunk for the first time in her life. This sounds great. She's meeting new people. They seem to
He's
like her.
bouncing his head along with the music.
Cool.
It's not her music scene, so she's distracting herself.
And they order drinks, and more food comes out, and
Oh my god, yes.
this goes on it starts repeating itself until the sun starts coming up, and no one is really leaving at this point either.
Oh, I don't have to sleep.
When
She's got mega
Mega
stamina.
stamina? Nope.
Yeah.
When the sun rises, 100% leads group of people to rooftop
Okay.
to toast the sunrise.
Okay.
All right.
And then from there, flying off to wherever like my hotel is.
Okay. As you're up there and starting to fly off, someone goes, "Let's go down to the beach." And several of them start floating down to the beach and taking people with them. And it continues from there. So if you take off, your night's over.
Yeah, my night's
No,
over.
I'm going down to the
Your
beach.
group goes down.
Yeah.
The crew goes down. They keep calling themselves the crew eventually. They go
I
down to the
like it.
beach, and there is some crazy dawn naked orgy that happens down on the beach. And it is, people are glowing, and some people are giving off mists and fogs, and it's insane fire. So if you want to partake, you may partake.
I don't think she's not going to
Slicer
partake. Yeah.
eventually takes his shirt off, which is a lot for him. He's still embarrassed as he's looking around,
fair.
but everybody's everywhere doing everything. So this continues on until probably in the afternoon.
I mean, you got to
I
think
say
this way.
at a certain point, around
get
noon,
tired.
I would have to go to another point.
Well, I was gonna
Oh
say
wait,
some-
I gotta get to France.
Something
Yes.
to think about for Slicer, and while yes, Japanese men are repressed, they're much like holding a giant beach ball underwater. Once that thing explodes out of the water, everyone gets wet. So if he's taking his shirt off,
That's, he's it's getting close, but if he knows you've got to go, he's trying to keep you on track. And you both have plane tickets
Yeah, that's
out.
Yeah, at a certain point,
It's not
I
that
will.
far away, so it's
Right, and the
maybe
airport should. An
hour and a
At a
half.
certain point, yeah, probably around 9, I'll start thinking about actually getting back to a schedule. But yeah, I can go for a couple of weeks without sleeping, so that's not actually on my list of things to do. Weeks without sleep. Yep.
yeah, I think with just having mega stamina in general, I can go for
Yeah,
a
that's
while.
one dot in mega stamina is weeks without sleep. 2 dots does not actually add any more time without sleep.
No, it just adds to like, oh, you can live for a few hundred years.
Well, no, that's 1 dot in mega stamina is lifespan of 150 plus years, and then your penalties for injuries are reduced. 2 just adds
health
like an
box.
extra multiple on an extra bruise level and an extra. It's 4 times healing instead of 3 times healing.
Yep.
Wow.
But otherwise, it's the same. Still weeks without sleep. Still 150 years.
I have regeneration on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
I'm sorry, it's a 2.5 hour flight.
Okay.
Oh, 2 hour flight, 5 minutes.
yeah.
Okay. As a good Midwestern girl who's not used to airports, I get to the airport at least an hour before my flight.
Tiny little airport here.
Right. But I'm still
People
like,
walk in, get
oh, I want to be sure about
yeah.
this.
You're walking out on the tarmac to board the planes. At this.
With the wheelie staircases. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Same with you. You're going to the airport.
Yeah, I
you
get
guys
there on time, and
wind up running into each other.
Mm-hmm.
The crew's nowhere to be found.
Right. Yeah. As far as I left them on the beach, as far as I know.
Yeah. And you guys get on the plane. You guys are fine, stamina wise, resistance wise. It's all bleeding out or peeing out or whatever. So, 2 hour flight there. You guys walk off the plane and
are our
it's-
seats next to each other because they were paid for by some
Yes.
other guy? Okay. So during the flight, as quietly as I can.
Did you guys dorm down for the flight?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah. I would mention to you something to heavily consider before, I guess, doing that job. If you get caught, they don't have jail time for us. And that is a kind of thing that is a past mistake that could come back to haunt you if somebody else finds out about it. If this guy's as loaded as he is, that's requiring 6 of us, that's not the kind of thing that stays quiet, not for long, and it's definitely the kind of thing that comes back real fast, real hard.
Yeah, but I don't know. It still sounds like fun.
It's your life, your decision. I'm not going to take part in it, though.
It's the freezer. Yeah, the 2 hours go by. You guys can talk about whatever you want. Contemplating things. It's up to you. The flight eventually lands in Paris. It's fucking Paris in July. It's beautiful. It's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Do 11 o'clock when you guys arrive. And is there a car waiting? There's not a car waiting. Sorry.
There's a car waiting.
So you guys can take a cab if you want. Fly if you want. It's up to you.
I'll take a cab.
With the tickets, there was an address for where it was going, where you're supposed to go. Seguin Island in the Seine, in the middle of the Seine. So you guys get in the cab, give him the address or whatever it is. Oh, I know where it's at.
Yep.
That's the facility. He takes you off and doesn't talk to you, but he sings. Not
In
the
French.
best, but he sings. Yeah, sings some French song. You guys eventually start driving up on this huge, ornate, Gothic sort of looking building on an island in the middle of the Seine, which looks like a giant gilded music box from the 1800s, made out of glass and gold and all kinds of stuff. It's incredibly impressive. It's several stories tall. It really stands out with a lot of this and fits in at the same time. So anyone with a history, academics?
I do.
Go ahead and
Nope.
roll that.
I got an intelligence of 2, and that's it.
Go, but I don't know what it is.
No.
No, I
idea.
got 3 3s and a 6.
Impressive, is it not? The guy kind of leans back as he's driving, which is you both are like, hey.
Quite amazing.
Yeah.
This is. Do you know? Have you heard about this site before? This place?
No.
Oh, this is where the first French nova erupted on the island back in '98. It was a park before this. It had lots of structures and venues on it, and it's all gone. He warps it away, and no one knows where it's at. Could be in space, could be on the moon. Nobody knows. Never came back. So this group called Aeon Society started building this place on top of it, and now Utopia has it. So yeah, it's kind of a memorial. No one was killed, but everything above the ground gone.
Off topic. How does Utopia feel about theft and breaking of crimes as Nova?
It just depends. There's a lot of gray area.
Okay.
They're not so much the Legion of Superheroes, and they do have PR that runs a lot of.
Right. There was definitely the there was definitely the more lawful ones, and there was Utopia was just kind of yeah, everyone's just part of this. And
Right. If you start going crazy and murdering a lot of people, they will try to contain you, or they'll try to help you at first, and then they will eventually try to contain you.
Okay.
Because you're bad press for them.
Gotcha.
Right.
They're trying to dress up all Novas as pretty good stuff for the most part. There's a few rogues out there. There's a few bad guys. The Aberrants, we don't know what they're doing, but they try to put forward and do a lot of humanitarian stuff. So you may do something bad, and then you're put on humanitarian duties for the next year or so, where you're doing PR stuff and rescuing kittens out of trees and shit, and you're
In the meantime,
being
they're trying to
watched.
make you look as good as possible
Right.
so that they don't look bad as a whole.
Right. But depends if it's victimless crimes and stuff, and they can cover it up. You might get a hand slap, that sort of stuff. But they understand everyone's human, and these people have powers, and they're doing crazy shit. So it's a lot of leeway.
Okay.
Eventually, the cab arrives at the front. He gets out, opens up the doors. He says, "Enjoy your stay." And he gets in and drives off. And huge ornate doors that are probably 3 stories tall, glass, but when you open them, they just slide right open.
Oh, that's so cool.
This filigree, some of the windows and the glass is kind of etched lightly or sandblasted, where it doesn't look ornate until you get up close to it and you're like, holy shit, someone did a lot of work to this. Or they laser etch stuff so it's prisming, doing crazy stuff. You go in and there's a nice lady. She approaches you and she says, I am Josephine Ashley, and you are
Bethany King.
Bethany
Zeus.
Zeus. Oh, yes. You're meeting Mr. Ramirez.
Yes.
And he's gotten all your paperwork filed, so we're all good. She walks over to a desk and she says, slot 3214. And the lady behind the desk flips through a little file cabinet. She pulls out a thing and has both of your IDs on it with pictures of you from the DMV or from a photo shoot or something. It's the best picture they could find, which turns out to be actually pretty good. And they hand them to you, and it's got your Zeus name on it and Bethany on yours. And she says, this way, please. And she walks over to several cylinders that are glass elevators, and they don't look like they have much mechanics in them, so you don't know if they're pneumatic or what. But she steps in and pushes a button, and as this ornate Willy Wonka glass elevator is moving up, you get a view on the inside of this place, which is divided up into cubes and rooms that are made out of glass or filigree. And you see all sorts of novas who are practicing powers, who are being taught powers, lots of explosions and light energy being given off as it's moving up to the top. A few that you notice seem like they're out of control, like one person is just pouring out liquid out of their body, and they're taking it out of the room so they don't drown, basically. Eventually gets up to top. The door is open with a soft chime, and you're walking down a hallway that is all open. It's got railings on the side made out of, looks like silver, goldish. And comes to a hallway, to a door that's tinted white glass. It says Hector Ramirez on the outside, and she opens the door, and she offers you both to go inside, and she closes the door behind you. And it's a medium-sized office with a desk, with 2 chairs. Off to the side, there's a sitting area with several couches. And beyond that, there's a door that opens up, and Hector Ramirez comes out of a very ornate-looking bathroom. Very modern, though, sleek. And he says, you've made it! I'm so glad you guys are here. I was a little unsure if you guys were going to make it. I hope you enjoyed your stay there. You didn't get too distracted, so that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, it was tons of fun. Met some new interesting people.
Excellent. Have a seat. And he sits down in the couch area, and he just starts going over some stuff. So the job is, we want you to look over this estate for the next 36, 40 hours while this gentleman is gone, to see if there's any incursion or threat or suspicious activity. This gentleman's name is Horst Kohler. Anyone with academics, intelligence, bureaucracy, go ahead and roll that.
I'm going to roll my 2 intelligence.
There you go.
Yeah. Nuh-uh.
Nope.
Actually, botch.
I would say I also botched.
You both at the same time go, is that an Arabic prince? And he kind of looks at you both, stops. He goes, no, this is the oh shit, where is he at? This is the German president. We would like you to watch his house for a couple of days, just to see what's going on. Don't enter the property. Don't use, unless lethal force is necessary. Gather as much intel as possible. The place has a full spectrum cameras outside, and the inside there's a laser grid that detects any motion or anything like that. There's a security force off the property just a little bit. but they monitor all the cameras and everything to relay information out. They're on like a 3-person shift that rotates every 6 hours. If anything suspicious happens, they'll trigger the alarms and deploy the state police, and then the military will show up right afterwards. So,
Okay.
sound like a thing you can do?
With all that security, why does Project Utopia need to?
We've heard some rumors that it might be under surveillance from Terrigen, but we're not certain because he's a high-profile person. We don't know if someone's going to try and plant something in his place, or we just don't know. So that's why we want to have you guys there in case it is some Nova that's been hired or a mercenary group that's going to go in and set up shop and wait for him to come back. We don't know.
You said this is the German president.
Yes. His residence in Frankfurt. It's at the northeastern corner of the city of Frankfurt, right on the right close to the outskirts. It's a large private estate that he recently purchased. It's about 100 acres of farmland a few years ago. Built a really nice house on it.
Is there any chance that there's a place called, and then I relay the name of the place where we're supposed to meet the other group nearby?
Boy, does he know that. The restaurant?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of it. It's a highly respected eatery. I think it's probably by the airport.
Yeah, I think I saw it on a
I think people
brochure or
have talked
something,
about
and I
it.
kind of some worse sounded savory.
It's not very big though. I think it's a small little place. It's open late.
Huh.
Yeah.
I was just figured if you were going to, like I said, I saw it on a brochure. Figured if you were going to be nearby, it might be something to check out.
I guess so. Yeah. We could pay you guys $600 a day for this, so 2-3 days worth. And if it goes over, you can stay there another day, and we'll pay you. So you should be able to afford food if you need the money. And he hands you 2 very fancy, clear maps of the area. One is of the land and the residence, and one is the residence blueprints. He says, these are yours. You can stake out nearby. Don't let security is not supposed to know you're there either. They think they've got everything in hand, and we don't want to intrude on their jobs. And we really don't want to notify Mr. Horst of what's going on. Mr. Kohler, I'm sorry, Mr. Kohler.
If let's say, now obviously, if there's just some petty kids causing some petty vandalance, then they've got that. But let's say a Nova does step in, and we then have to deploy.
Assess the situation and find out if you need to interfere. Is it a life and death? Or are they mercenaries that are setting up a stakeout to kill him, or are they planting evidence? If they are, let us know so we can either notify them to get it out or send another Nova in that could extract it if you can't. That sort of thing. We're just not sure. We know there's some attention being paid to him, and he's leaving for a couple days. So he's flying to Egypt tomorrow, next day.
And I'm just still reading over the contract. Like, well, what I'm trying to make sure here is, let's say there's a Nova that we're not able to detect. They get those invisible density flies through. Basically, they're ghosts. And let's say they just steal something. Are we still getting paid, or?
Yeah. Unless it's something violent.
So you're really only worried about threats to his person.
Correct.
Whether they're evidenciary or in the future
Correct.
or physical violence directly threatened against him.
Right. Or planting evidence or something that's going to besmirch his name. He's a good contact of ours, and we want to make sure he stays in power.
Just trying to protect. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I think, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll let you guys go then, and you can figure out your own way there. It's not too far from here.
One last question.
Yes.
If there are Nova, and we have to be deployed, and we are deployed, and we catch them. Is there any bonus for that, or is it just the flat 600?
It depends on if there's any sort of violent threat.
Okay.
You know, if you could scare them off, that's great. If deterring them is fine, but there's nothing extra in it, especially if we don't know what they're doing.
That's fair. That's fair.
If there's no proof
just
of anything.
covering
That makes sense.
all avenues of the contract.
Yeah. And if you want to get there via car, you can rent a car with the money. We can put you up for the 600 right now. And I think it's like almost a 6-hour trip. If you want to fly there, you can fly there for an hour. It's like an hour. It's not that much money. There's a high-speed train that goes there. It's 3 hours, so it's up to you.
Look over to you. Do you want to take the train?
That sounds wonderful, actually. Yes. Very relaxing.
Okay. All right. That's all we have here.
All right. Well.
Stand up, shake his hand,
Mm-hmm.
Shakes both your hands.
check my folder or
Right.
dossier, whatever you call it.
Yep. And he walks you to the door and opens the door. And he says, I guess just report back here in 40 hours, 45 hours, or whatever it would be.
Okay.
Now, report here, or is a telephone call good enough?
I guess if nothing happens, give me a call. Otherwise, you can come back here and debrief.
Thank you very much.
Okay. He closes the door behind you guys, and you go back to the elevator and down, and it's the same view, and you get outside, and Josephine stops you and says, would you like me to call you a cab? Or
Yes, please.
directions or
If
anything?
you can get us, we need
Cab
a
to the
cab
train
just from
station.
Here to the train station.
Okay.
We'll do some lunch in the cars.
Yeah.
She goes back
It's like a
and
pleasant way to spend an afternoon.
types up some stuff, and she prints off some pages. Says, here's some local restaurants we recommend, and here's the train schedule if you want to take the train, and most of it's in walking distance, so
Oh, okay.
if you want.
Yeah,
It's
that's fine.
It's fucking Paris.
It's Paris, and I've got stamina for days.
Yeah.
we both do. It's
So you guys go off, get some lunch. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day. How long do you want to spend in Paris? An hour or so? You've never been there, so
I
this is all like-
haven't. This is all fascinating. And we got here around. It's still afternoon, right?
It is
our meeting was noon.
Our meeting was noon, right? So okay. Oh,
10
and that
o'clock
didn't
tonight.
take long. And
Yeah,
went 10
maybe
o'clock tonight.
30 minutes or less.
So if you take a train, it's 3.5 hours to get there by 10ish, and I think it goes through the airport. Like runs along the airport, then takes into Frankfurt.
I mean, yeah, hang out long enough to get a meal or whatever. But as long as I'm in Europe, I can always come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple hours eating slowly. The service is slowed down a little bit.
It's
so.
French. It's French.
And
During that time when we're eating lunch, so
several people come up and notice you. Oh no, you're dormed down. You're
Yeah,
dormed down.
no, I'm-
You're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
That's
no
all
one
we-
bothers you. You guys look like tourists, kind of, but not really.
so it's very obvious.
Bags
that,
on you? Did you guys bring anything with
I
you?
have a backpack
Okay.
I got
into
a
which
suitcase.
I slipped said dossier, and that's about it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I've got like a suitcase, a carry-on, a satchel.
Remember, I was raised by hoarders. Traveling lightly is
Yeah.
like the motto of my life.
Yeah.
If I don't need it, throw it away, or don't take it with me. I refuse.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've got luggage, which
Okay.
I don't mind carrying around. It all straps together. It's all coordinated.
Although with a couple of Datsun style, it's probably not just a backpack. It's probably
A very nice
a
one.
nice bag of some sort. But yeah.
It turns into a backpack.
Yeah.
So, and like when we get our meal and like there's no one really around, like so it's pretty obvious that your
Yeah.
new friends you made last night are made.
Are they made, or are they taking advantage of an opportunity that that Team Utopia also recognizes?
Team Utopia,
Or Project
Project
Utopia.
Project Utopia. Sorry. Project Utopia knows that. Now, they don't know it's Nova's, but they do know that the place is actively under surveillance and is being targeted.
True.
And whatever information that Hector just gave us is actually old information. Because someone has gathered more information at this point, and it's just en route to him. Again, this is what I was talking about, how this is a mistake that will come back and bite hard.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be. Not if we're sitting in the middle with information from both sides.
No, you're right. It doesn't have to be. And yes, there is a reward that does sound very, very tempting. But there is a very high risk. I know. You don't know me, but you don't know these other people either.
No, but they sound more fun than you do.
I don't know. When we were at the party, I was out partying. They just stayed in a corner and conspired.
Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of fun in that corner. Look, I get it. You've got a name that you don't want to fuck up. Is there any harm in... Say we don't go along with them into the house. Is there any harm in telling them that Utopia knows that the place is under surveillance? So maybe they back off their plans or change them?
That is exactly what I was thinking of doing.
Okay.
Because per his instruction, deterrent is a valid is one of our agreed upon jobs. And if we can tell them, like, hey, Utopia knows you're coming, at the very least, I have the feeling that Isaac wouldn't want his face plastered all over the news in a bad way again. And that, pleasant Japanese fellow, he doesn't seem to have the stomach for that kind of embarrassment. So really, all that leaves are the that woman who I didn't really get too much of a read on her, and they said some other guy who's
There's Cypher,
off working.
probably the one who's putting the place under surveillance. But regardless, if they're getting paid to do the job and they know that they can't do the job without getting away free, they're probably more interested in figuring out how to make that contract work rather than going ahead blind.
Yes, they will try to figure out how to make that contract work. But at the same point in time, they may also just back out of it.
I mean, it's possible. It's worth having a chat with them, seeing what they say. But you're right. It would be stupid to walk in with them at this point. Sigh. I guess let's go take a train ride through a very beautiful mountain country.
Oh, no.
You guys get the train station, train's on time. You get on and takes off. The money's in your accounts if you need that. And food, cars, well-equipped dining cars going on. So 3 hours seem like nothing, and you guys arrive at the airport. You guys get out, and you notice there's lots of big lockers around where people are putting bags and stuff in and out and securing them. So if you wanted to leave your stuff, instead of taking it to meet them, you could leave it all here and check it in or check it in a secure.
What time is it now? What time do we have to meet them?
10 o'clock is when they wanted to meet, and it is about 8:30.
I'm going to go check into a hotel.
Okay.
and leave my bags there.
Okay.
I offer to cover a room for you.
I'm not worried about it right now.
Okay. But yeah, I'm going to leave my bags there, and then I will go meet them.
Freshen up and everything.
I say I'm going to borrow your bathroom to change, but that's about it.
Yeah, you can store your bags there as well. Doesn't matter.
I only got the one
Yes, but why carry it if you don't need to?
because it's little and not inconvenient.
Okay, you guys take your time, get ready. This place is not very far off from it. It's just a little bit south, and you could probably fly you both there if you wanted, or you could easily take a small cab.
I'll take a cab.
I want to say it's almost on the airport property. So cab comes up, picks you guys up, takes you there. He knows where it's at, and it's a tiny little place. And in fact, this area is so tiny that the Google Maps driving stuff has not gone through there. So
Yeah. This is so when I check in, powered down, when leaving my room, powered up.
okay. Are you powered up when you leave too?
No, not really.
Okay. All right.
And this is where I've gone from some comfy, more comfortable travel clothes to again it's a a very sharp button up shirt, like the white khakis.
Yep. Okay. You guys step out of the cab, tiny little place. There's not a lot of foot traffic around right now. It's kind of late for everybody. You guys walk in, and the place is about half full. It looks like a lot of regulars. And off in the corner is the crew sitting at a table, and their food is piled up everywhere. They're eating and having beers and talking. They're not making a scene, but it's they're definitely a presence in the place.
Yeah. When I see them from the door, I actually go, Isaac! Like very much like almost in a half flamboyant wave
Okay.
as I call directly to him.
And you hear, "My man!"
My man! Lightning high five.
Yep. And they pull up some chairs for you guys, and the waitress kind of cautiously comes over and sets down two big, huge steins of beer and heads off.
Okay.
Pretty curtly. And Voss says, "There they are. You guys made it. We had a bet going to see if you guys were going to show up or not, and it looks like Blitz lost." And he's like, "Ugh." So the tab's going to be on Blitz tonight. And he goes, "You guys better be fucking worth it."
My boy, you bet against me.
I didn't,
Then you knew you were going to lose.
I didn't think you guys would show up. I didn't think you'd do it, man.
Again, hard maybe. Doesn't mean no.
No. And you will be very glad that we did show up.
I hope so. Sits back down. You guys go on to eating and drinking, and
Now, is it just the people that were on the table last night? Is the Vic
Yes.
guy still missing?
the other
Or
guy
fourth
is not
guy's
there. He's like, yeah,
still missing?
he's setting up downtown. He's got a room to himself. We don't know where. He likes to be off by himself. He doesn't like a lot of people knowing who he is or what he looks like or anything like that.
Have you worked with him before?
Yeah, for a couple of years. We've known each other off and on. He's thrown some great parties, that sort of thing. But he is a information broker, pretty much. He can
And
get in and do
you
something.
have physically seen him at least once.
I've seen him 5 times total.
Okay.
And he's always been dressed differently each time. Like, I didn't recognize him when he was out and about. So, that sort of thing.
And he's good at what he does?
He's excellent at what he does. We've done some small stuff in the past, but it's never been this big. It's been some restaurants and stuff we've gotten into at night, things like that. But the money goes, and here we are. So, but no one's ever caught us. No one's ever seen anything. He's taking care of all security. even anything that crops up digitally later on, he's able to go in and excise it. So he's been pretty good about it. And he has no presence. We don't know really who he is, and we don't ask because that's his thing.
Interesting.
We just call him Chrome Samurai. That's what he goes by, or CS. Blitz says that, or CS. Call him CS all the time. He don't like it, but I call him it anyway. And the other's like, ugh, Chrome. Voss says it's a pretty soft target. It's in the state, northern corner of Frankfurt. This dude is left for a few days, and he's got a pretty hefty vault that was installed about a year ago. We don't know much details on it. It was a very secretive project when he built the house, but it was built sort of around this vault. We also got wind that he pulled a lot of his assets from several local and international banks over the last year. So we think there's gold bullion there. We think there's corporate patents, and some hard drives with some sort of digital money on it. I don't know how it works, but something like that.
Magic.
And also bearer bonds. Lots of fucking bearer bonds.
Who is this guy that has all this pull or all this money?
Well, that's the thing. That's why we're using Chrome Samurai, because we don't want to get linked to this. This guy is the president of Germany, she says. She keeps her voice down real low.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Who's paying you to do this? Who's paying us to do this?
He is a contact of mine, and she looks around and she goes, he really wants the drives. So we're not
so
too...
so in addition, so it's not just stealing, it's stealing something specific.
Right. It's a drive when we get in, and he can help us ID what we're looking for, because this guy apparently has several systems or something like that. We don't know. We don't know how it works. But he wants the drive specifically, and when we give him to Chrome, he's going to upload whatever's on there to his contact.
And Chrome can handle that level. I mean, I'd imagine that a president has an immense level of security, not just digital, but also physical. And obviously, that's where the more of us come in for that. But
right.
I mean, if all Chrome's handled has been restaurants, this is a pretty large step up.
This is what we've done with him. He's helped us out on small stuff, but he's done other things electronically that we're not sure if he did them or not, because he's pretty slick about getting in and getting out. We also think he doesn't use a lot of hardware, but when he does, it's pretty high-end stuff. So we think his powers are actually going into the system psychically, maybe, and then doing stuff. We don't know.
There's a new power every day, so I'm not gonna. I wouldn't rule that out. It takes a big drink of beer.
He's being funded, and whatever he's doing on the side is paying out his whoever client, or he's the client. I don't know, but they're all getting paid very well. So they need some people that aren't well known that can go into this, getting it out. Someone that he can easily cipher out of the system if something does go wrong. Because the only thing would be being physically seen by somebody.
And what if he has, Novas on payroll?
We don't think he does. Being a government official, Germany has been very standoffish about Novas in general. He's worked with Utopia, but he's never had like a bodyguard or anything like that. He's a man of the people sort of thing. Does a lot of charity work and things like that.
But he is
But somehow he's gotten lots of money.
But he is linked to Utopia.
He's friendly with them.
And as a world power, he's somebody that they would care about keeping safe.
Right.
So, assume.
But his money, I don't think they really give a shit about. And somehow he's come into a lot of money in the last couple of years, which may not be on the up and up. So he may be working with a corporation that's keeping Novas out of Germany's government and everything. We don't know, but he seems to be paid very well for a president of a medium-sized country. We think he moved several $100 million in the last year in assets around, and did not deposit that same amount back out.
What do I do to see if she's being on the up and up about everything she's saying?
Yeah.
That would be
Wits and rapport?
I think it's rapport.
It's either that or it's a reverse use of subterfuge. I'm not sure.
I think it's be under drama.
Well, if it's wits rapport, I got 2.
Okay.
Subterfuge can be used to separate gossip from truth and discover if a person is lying.
There you go.
It is subterfuge. I don't know if there's other things too, but subterfuge will do it.
Okay. Do I have to re-roll? Because the subterfuge would technically be 3 dice, where wits was 2 dice.
You can just add another die on if you want.
Cool. Still 2.
Okay.
I got 4.
Okay. She's being as truthful as she knows.
Okay.
And she honestly feels like this is
Like she's doing something worthwhile because this guy is really suspicious in what he's been done.
Yeah. And it's not a victimless crime, but it's no one's getting hurt.
And he's more of a worthwhile candidate for this than somebody who had an honest business or something.
Too good, she keeps saying. Like, he's too clean. Like, something's going on. So
I'm going to level with you.
That's
Utopia knows.
And she stiffens.
well, they don't know exactly. They suspect, but whatever Cypher's been doing, they know the place is under surveillance.
Man, Blitz says. I knew this was too good. So we got to do this super quiet. We can't get caught. We can't be seen.
And you can't hurt anybody.
Well, if no one's there, that's not going to be a problem.
Because
If we don't get hurt and we all get out, we're good.
the Nova's Utopia has hired. Hello. So
Blitz like points at you. He goes, "Man, I didn't fucking lose this."
So
what, are you here to arrest us?
you would have been arrested by now. Now keep it calm. It's okay.
Also, why would we? No. Look,
If you keep it completely clean and you get in and out quickly and quietly, then we're fine.
Man.
But you have to be quick and quiet. Otherwise, we have to flip.
CS, what do you think about this? And there's a phone that's been sitting on the table the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I really need that Cell Z 2000, man. The prototype's not going to be even looked at for another 2 years, and I need it. These guys are clean. I checked them out, forwards and backwards. They just started with Utopia, so they don't have any standing with them. This is all new, I guess.
They're figuring they're throwing us a softball.
and they very clearly said they literally don't give a shit what happens as long as nothing happens to anybody standing on the ground or any evidence comes to light to hurt the president.
So don't leave. So if you take something, fine. Just don't leave anything.
So this is
No
what's
bodies,
going on.
No blood, no tracks.
The voice says, you go in from the west side of the property, and I loop the video feeds as you're crossing those fields of vision so that you're not seen, and once you're past, it goes back to a live stream. These are full spectrum cameras. They're picking up everything from birds to ground hogs and stuff. So it's going to take editing on my part if there's something else going on.
I mentioned the extra surveillance they were talking about from the guys in the van outside the thing that Utopia's had set up.
Yeah, they're in a house at the front gate.
Okay.
And That's who we're looping this stuff on.
Okay.
I'm not looping all the cameras because I don't want something weird to happen. I'm focusing on the feeds that you guys are showing up on as you're coming in.
Basically, that's me being like, I know exactly, this is what we were told, where they're watching, and I'm throwing that information out there to make sure that...
Yeah. And didn't they say something about helicopters as well, like as a visual surveillance?
No.
Or is that something they call when something goes nuts?
If something goes wrong.
Those guys will show up first, and then the military will show up shortly after.
Yeah, and that's why I give them the escalations, like, here's what goes on. Here's the timing you have once you trip any silent alarm.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
We figured it would be something like that, but that helps out. Once you're inside, I'm disabling the entire laser grid and setting it in some sort of diagnostic mode, which will last for about 2 hours. So it'll all be down. There's no other cameras inside. The guy likes his privacy. He entertains, that sort of thing. So, and the vault's in the floor in a den area. So there's another safe that you have to get into, and there's a mechanism there that opens up the vault door. So in and out, grab everything you want. We really need that hard drive, and we can get out of there. Leave the same way you came in, and I'll turn everything back on and re-loop stuff, and then erase any sort of looped footage in the memory and everything.
Quick, I have a corrective question. The hard drive they're talking about, that's a separate hard drive than the one with digital money on it, right? Is this...
They think that there's several that have digital money on them.
Right. But is that the hard drives that he's talking about wanting? Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to a hard drive full of like child porn or something that's in
It could
theory,
be in there too.
Right. But
So he just wants you to grab everything.
I'm just saying.
These are external hard drives. These are great big blocks, bricks.
So, but everything they've expressed so far has been that they think there's money on the hard drives, and that's what they're after. I just want to make sure they're not.
My client wants the hard drives.
Right.
And he's been told there's some sort of digital currency on there. He doesn't know how much.
I just wanted to make sure that they're saying that even Cypher is only saying he wants the money and not like he's not looking for dirt on this guy, like in asking for the hard drives. That's all I wanted to clarify.
We could split whatever bonds and stuff you guys find, gold bullion, that sort of thing, but the hard drives are taken out of my possession. They're going to be sent off. That's what we're getting paid the $2.5 million for. So it sounds like something we can do. In and out, no one gets hurt.
As long as no one gets hurt.
He's flying out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., I believe, and he's going to Egypt.
Yes.
And he's going to be there for 36 hours. His returning ticket is for 36 hours later.
At the very least.
And he's taken his security force that he usually travels around with, plus 3 extra people. So whatever he's got on him must be important, or his trip must be super important or dangerous that he's flying out.
At the very least, there is some contact we have to maintain with Utopia to make sure that everything's on the up and up.
We don't want our names.
I won't put your names in there, but I still have to make the... You're right where Germany's supposed to think they're handling it themselves. Utopia still needs to think that they have a Nova on relative standby. So I've got to make my presence known somewhere else.
If we're good, they won't even know when we took this stuff. It could have been tonight, for all they'll know.
Exactly. What I'm saying is...
Because when he's home, the laser grid isn't on. All that stuff's off, too. So anybody invisible could get in there and take stuff and be gone.
Right. What I'm saying is I am going to have to stay out in case something does happen. That way it can look like Nova is it can still look like Utopia is doing their job.
Okay. So do you want me to... It's the voice. Do you want me to spoof you as being somewhere nearby? Seen by somebody, or...
Yes.
I can do that.
That might be... I mean... We're both supposed to be there, so...
I can
You
do
should
that
have been
too.
able to, at the very least. I tell them where my hotel is.
I know.
Yeah.
I could show you spending money in a certain, and just outside the town at a gas station or something.
Yeah,
At the
whatever.
time this happens.
Something that keeps us close by, but not there. Or, yeah.
So that way, if we have to suddenly be there,
Right.
Okay.
We can show up.
Do you need any clothes or anything? Do we need to set you up with some low-key duds in case you're visually spotted?
I mean, I did kind of only bring like the 3 outfits, so that'd be nice.
We could do that.
something I can.
Some of us are dressing. Some of us have armor, body armor and stuff, just in case something happens. Voss says that's me.
You're the body armor big
I
man.
don't want to get shot. But in case
Oh,
I
no,
do,
boss.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he has. What does he have?
I have a. I have my own clothes that I can utilize for this.
Okay.
Does the tuning take time, or does it just like take a point of quantum?
I think it's pretty fast.
It's kind of like it's almost active the whole time.
Yeah, I think.
But like if you get something new, I think you can do it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. Hang on, I can look it up.
I think it's just your surroundings.
No, because it's based on dots how much you can protect.
Right.
Attributes. Backgrounds are after attributes. Here we go. Attunement.
Charge options may be organic, inorganic. Maximum of the weight. I think that's how the fireman saved all those. Well, did he save that? He saved that little girl.
No, he sucked all the fire out of the.
That's what he did.
1
1 quantum per scene. Confers
okay, so
absolutely
it's
no
just-
protection against other Nova's powers. Yeah.
Okay, so it's literally just spend a quantum and not burn off your clothes for a scene.
Right.
Cool. Doesn't have to be a specific set of clothes or anything.
Yeah. Or I would say if you pick something else up, just spend another point of quantum.
Oh, that's why I put 2 points in it so I could carry around it because that's 2 points is like a backpack or whatever, a briefcase or something. So okay,
Sounds good.
then yeah, I wouldn't mind a set of clothing that's slightly more than just a pair of blue jeans.
All right.
Or more low key.
He says, I'll have them sent to the room. And just to make sure nothing's happening, we're all staying in the same place tonight. Right? Voss says, yeah, we need to all, from here, stick together so no one's getting off course. Or making a phone call to somebody or something. He can spoof you back at your room.
Yeah. I actually do
calls or
need to go
transfer
back
you.
to my room to get the stuff that I need.
He
Blitz
says-
is free to join me if you guys don't. If you guys want some insurance.
He says, CS says, I can have them sent over and no one will know it's gone.
Fair enough.
I got everything
Because
with
I'm
me.
literally just like.
Right. And he says, I have your measurements and everything. We'll have some stuff delivered to their room. He said, we just got a small little place nearby.
Sounds good.
And we rented a car in someone else's name, and we'll have it for a couple more days. So, all right,
All right.
okay. And with that, I think we're going to call it for the night.
Yeah.
It's 10:30,
Oh, yeah.
10:20.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, literally, what I'm having them bring over is like I have a pair of because this might happen, like a pair of baggy like fatigue stuff I have that I can wear over my superhero costume.
Yeah.
Because I totally have
You
one
have
of those.
a superhero costume.
Yeah.
You would.
and if you want reinforced clothing or whatever you want, we can do that too. If you want the actual protection.
Yeah, I would probably have the superhero costume have like the reinforced clothing and
Okay. So what they're going to send over is just some black
Yeah, that's
turtleneck.
That's.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Some
more than
Archer
I've got now.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's a turtleneck sweater and some black like fatigue-ish like pants that go over the Superman onesie.
Right.
Considering I have my fancy going out clothes and my baggy blue jeans and like Black Sabbath t-shirts, like I don't have anything in between.
Yeah, one of the bags I have is like a roll-up suit bag, and in there is the super suit.
There you go.
Got like a couple of metal shirts and that's about it.
Where's my super suit?
oh, while we're here, I gotta figure out if we can get up to like Sweden and see the good metal.
All right. Automatic 1 point. Discovery. Something new and significant about yourselves or fellow Novas in the universe. Yes, everyone gets one of that. Good role play. Yeah. Heroism. Nah. Wisdom. You discovered your way out of a trap or learned the truth behind a mystery. Yeah. Another point. And creativity. Yeah, for the extra characters, go ahead and take 2 points of creativity. Cohesion. Working together. Yeah. Investigating all avenues of information. Yeah. So another point.
So that's 6?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you made extra character sheets, take another point for each character you made.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have those finished. The other 2 finished made by next week.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and I'll have everything actually printed out next time.
Sounds good.
So how many points total was that then? Like 11?
Should be 6.
6 plus
4 more.
4 more. Yeah.
Okay, so 10.
So 10.
Where do I track the XP? There it is.
Yep.
I got spent it now. Between now.
I love the fact that I accidentally put points in a thing that made me be like, oh God, you guys are planning a heist? I'm in.
Yeah.
I got
They're all like,
this.
she's the best.
Well, I put things in style just because I'm like, yeah, style. That sounds funny.
I just
It
And then
works
it's like,
out.
I did so much styling.
well,
tonight.
and literally it was one of those where they were like, and I had to kind of decided that, yeah, she was like an emotional eater. So I was like, she's one of those characters who's overweight. And then like the book was talking about, you know, it's more fun if you build a baseline and then spend some of those points in something your character would have always wanted to have,
Right.
which is why I pumped her appearance and gave her that because she's like, I've never been skinny and pretty ever before. This is awesome.
Right, and you know, I definitely took it from the other approach, but I think these next 2 that I'm going to make are going to be 100% that approach. And because, like I said, like these first 3 that I made were the build system and test,
Right.
and now it's like I'm going to be using all the experience points we get to just finish flushing out
Right.
Yeah.
Zeus.
No, I found the last paragraph that's of first impressions. This effect also makes the Nova seem like just what the other person is looking for.
Yep.
If on a job interview, it makes you seem perfectly suited for the job. If at a nightclub or a singles bar, you're the perfect date. Like it's or
awesome.
whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way these guys work. They crazy shit. They thought of some really good powers, and
Yeah.
Well, and I was even reading towards the end, like they kind of gave some outlines for, if you want to create your own power. And I just kind of like based off of what I was thinking up here, like powers you won't believe in the player's guide, I'd imagine they go even further into that.
it's all
So
lots of books that they put out with all kinds of different stuff in them. So
Yeah.
it's insane.
It is.
Anyway. All right. This session is copyrighted by Gaming Without Gaming. All rights reserved. There's no intro music. There's no exit music. So this is it. We will see you next time.
superheroes, fuckers.